Hi, we're going to teach Doug how to make bread with the KitchenAid mixer. We have our bowl and our dough hook ready. And then the first ingredient we're going to add is water. 2 cups of hot water. We want 2 cups of hot water. And we're going to add the 2 cups of hot water. Was it a full 2 cups, Doug?
It was a full 2 cups, yeah.
Okay. Now get out the yeast out of the refrigerator. And I buy it in bulk, so I store it in my refrigerator in a quart jar.
What kind is it?
In SAF yeast, which is a fast-rising yeast. 2 tablespoons of yeast into that water. Level it off, because you just want 2 tablespoons. So, there's 1. Now add your next one.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Because that's not.
Okay, now you add some honey. And we think the only kind of honey that anyone should use is Barlow's honey. So, he's going to add honey. So we are going to add, we have a little half-pint jar, and he's going to add all that honey into there.
How much is there?
Oh, that's about 2 or 3 tablespoons. So we're just going to add all that honey. You should have gotten a spoon.
What can you use instead of honey?
You can use sugar, but it's not as good. So scrape all that honey out of that jar and put it into your hot water. You can scrape it off onto the end of the dough hook.
What's next?
And we're going to add a little salt. So we're going to lower the dough hook in, and we're going to turn it on and let it mix just a little bit while Doug gets some salt. This is just to get the yeast mixed into so that there's no dry, yeasty looking stuff.
How much salt?
And now add a teaspoon of salt. I don't like too much salt in my bread, so, and this makes 2 big loaves. So, 1 teaspoon of salt. So we've added the salt. Now we're just going to mix that a little bit. And while that's sitting, and the yeast will start to soften and to kind of look bubbly, but we just have 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of yeast, and a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to get out our flour. Here we go. And so we're just going to tip back our dough hook here. And we're going to add 5 cups of flour to this. This is where you want to have a nice level.
Is that about right?
Yeah. 2. 3. We lower the dough hook, lock it down, and turn it on low. And this is where the magic begins. We are just going to let it mix for 15 minutes. I know the recipe said 10, but I think 10 to 15 minutes. Pretty stiff dough at this point, but we're just going to let it mix until you don't have any of that dough sitting on the side. And I will come back. Okay, it's been mixing for about 3 minutes, and you can see that the sides, it's starting to clean off the sides of the bowl. And it really just needs to let it just mix, so go watch some TV or knit or crochet or play the guitar or flute or whatever you do while you wait for it to mix. I set the timer. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look. Okay, it's 7:04. So we're just going to watch and come back here at 7:15 and see what it looks like. Okay, it's mixed for 15 minutes. We're going to shut it off, lift out the... This is where I say, are your hands clean, hon?
Maybe I better go wash.
Okay, because you're going to touch the dough at this point. Okay, now pull it off the dough hook. Just let it go drop down into the bowl. Okay, got all the dough off the dough hook. He was going to leave some of that good stuff on there, and I'm not going to let him.
It's sticking to my hands. I can't get it off. That's sticky dough.
Okay, if it's too sticky, I'm going to reach in. Oh, no, that's perfect. It's not sticky. Okay, now form that dough into a ball. It won't stick to you got to dig it out of the pan and form it into a ball. Now, don't pull it, don't stretch it, just lift it out. And scrape it off the sides and get all that dough and just kind of tuck it into a ball. Start tucking that into a ball. Yeah.
That's sticky.
Okay, form it into a ball. Okay, I'm going to have to do it for you because you're not learning how it does. Here, let me...
I can't take that now.
Okay, yes you can. You're going to have to. Okay, and you're going to film. Okay, we're just going to go like this, and you do it quickly because if you do it slowly, it's going to stick to your hand. So this is where Doug was going too slow, and there's still dough down in here. I'm going to scrape out of the bottom of the pan, and we just want to... Okay, now we get it... Are you filming this?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we get it into a smooth ball. And I don't have any dough on my hand.
And I have dough all over my hands.
And then I'm going to put it down into the bowl like this. Now Doug's going to get out the coconut oil. I'm just going to get me a gob of coconut oil, and I'm going to rub it over the top of my dough. Okay. And now we're going to get a dish towel. Fits over the top of the bowl. So that's fold 4 times. And it's just going to go like that. And the reason we put the wet, I put a dish towel on it so it won't dry out. The coconut oil does help. But now we're going to let it raise until it touches the top of the bowl. And we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, it's reached the top, but wait before you take it off. If you can see that it's just starting to bulge the top. I can see it just starting to touch the top. If you wait too long, it sticks to the cloth. So, now pull it off, Doug, and we can see. And there it is. It is a full bowl of raised dough. Now, you think Doug can do this? We're going to take this dough out and divide it into 2...
You want to split corn?
No, not yet. Okay. Well, you can't. I put cornmeal. I'm going to use a stone, and Doug could put a little bit of cornmeal on here. I don't grease it. I just put a little cornmeal. So Doug's going to get some cornmeal out of... No, stop. You just take a tiny, tiny bit and sprinkle on there. You know, just a tiny, tiny bit. And I, went over this way so you didn't get to see. Just a tiny bit. Doug was going to pour it. He's a man for you. Okay, now, he's going to get it out, and he's going to divide it into 2 equal balls.
Do I just lift it out of there?
Yeah, not like... Yeah, just get it out. Just punch it down so it's down into a ball. Now, he's kind of punched the air out of it. Now he's going to pick it out of there, and he's going to get all of it, and it's going to be in it, and he's going to make it into a ball. Just fold it into each other. Oh, heavens, I wasn't even filming. He's too comical for me to not film. Okay, Now just kind of squeeze it into 2 equal parts. And just drop one back down into the bowl. Okay, so now we have half of it here, half of it here. Now, I'm going to do this part for Doug, and he's going to film, because he's not going to believe what you do. Okay, you just gently squeeze it, and I'm going to put it right here on my counter, and I'm not going to put any flour or anything, and I'm just going to go like this and make it into a loaf. So we have on my counter. And then I do that, kind of smashes out. And I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to lay it right on here. Now, should we see if Doug can do that? Okay. All right, Doug, your turn.
I don't even know what you did.
Okay, you're going to make it into a ball. Kind of tuck it in with your fingers, roll it in. Okay, lower it down so I can see it. Okay. Now, put it on the counter and make it into a loaf.
I didn't see what you did to do that. Did you pull it apart?
No. Okay, I'm going to do it since he didn't see. Okay. We're just going to kind of roll it in, and then I'm going to roll it and tuck it in with my fingers. I thought you were filming it, honey. And I'm just rolling it into a long loaf. And then I smash it down and kind of pull it out. And we're going to lay it right here on here. Now,
Melinda makes that look so easy.
so still nothing was on my hand. And we're going to take our cloth again and put it over our bread and let it rise again until it doubles in size. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes, and we're going to check to see how the bread is. Okay, it has literally, the loaves weren't exactly divided in equal, so we have a little loaf and a big loaf. But we're going to put them in the oven. Now, you can take a knife and slice through like this, and it kind of gives it a pretty look. Also helps it rise a little better. Oops, I wasn't filming. Okay, now we're going to open our oven and put it in the oven.
Mark it with a bead.
Yeah. And bake it. I have a convection oven, so we're going to bake this at 375 for 25 minutes. Okay, hold it down a little longer. Now 25 minutes. Okay, now it's set for 25 minutes. For start.
Good fine start.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Bread is coming out of the oven. I like my bread, the crust to be brown. So for some people...
Oh, that oven feels good.
For some people that might be a little dark, but I like my bread to be brown. Doug, you did a good job. Go ahead and shut it.
I wanted to feel the heat.
Okay, so now bread. And if we had smell-o-vision, you could smell it.
Yeah.
Okay, I transferred it to a cooling rack because it sit on that hot stone and it might finish cooking too much. But Doug thinks, well, Doug, what do you think?
I think that you should stick to making bread and I'll stick to playing the flute. Good idea?